Hi, and welcome to the Spark the Heartz podcast. My name is Lizzie, and I'm an intuitive energy channel and a Reiki practitioner. This podcast is a safe space where we talk about spirituality, energetics, cycles, rebirth, and so much more. So while I'm in your field of awareness today, I hope you tune into the frequency of this episode with an open heart and a new sense of curiosity. As a reminder, you're a sovereign being, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Let's get started. Welcome to episode 11. You're going to hear Olive and Porky in the background snoring away because I'm actually recording from the floor of my living room. And they tend to always like to be around my little Frenchie and my pug. And they just love chilling and vibing around the area that I'm in. So I want to give you a warning that if you hear some snoring, if you hear their breathing, it's just the Frenchie and the pug out here hanging out, listening and tuning in to the frequencies of this transmission that is episode 11. I want to start off this episode with a card pull. I shuffled the cards and set the intention to connect you guys to a divine master that can support you through what the theme of this podcast episode is. And that is recognizing what is a safe person. How do they feel, look, and move like? And how to recognize them, but also recognize what isn't a safe person. And my intention for the card pull was also to create like a pillar of light throughout this journey that you're going to be unfolding with this theme. Someone who can really guide you and help you be so solid within yourself so that you can seek what safe people are for you in a way that supports you. And the card that I pulled is for Ishtar. The message below is inner learnings. Follow your heart, truth prevails. Ishtar, whose name means the precious, is the East Semitic, Akkadian, Assyrian, and Babylonian goddess of love and war. She was known as Inanna by the Sumerians, Astarte by the North Semitic peoples. She has many names and many faces. As long ago as 4000 BCE, she was acknowledged as the Queen of Heaven, protector of the cosmos, and instigator of truth. She was often depicted with 6 and 8 pointed stars, which were originally general symbols of the heavens, but the old Babylonian period, she became associated with Venus and the planet of love and desire. Many people have been challenged by the fact that Ishtar is linked to both love and war. From my own impressions of the energy she represents, I believe she helps us connect with the root energy of desire, including the desire to fight for what we believe in. When she appears, only the truth can prevail. Information is being revealed to you, and it's important to listen, as there's a good chance it will bring a war between your head and heart. You're being guided to listen to your heart, the part of you that makes decisions based on what feels best rather than what makes sense. You may have to take a decision that makes you feel like you're losing out, but in fact will lead you to a feeling of finding treasure or even feeling treasured. You're being encouraged to seek the truth now. Even if it is challenging or difficult, it's important to honor it. The truth will always prevail, whether it be now or in the future. You're being guided to save yourself emotional strain and also time by allowing what needs to be shared, said, felt, and communicated in order to be more connected to your heart and ultimately for the highest good of all. I'm blown away because I actually recorded episode 12 before episode 11. Funny enough. Episode 12 really encapsulates truth in it, so much other things, but the fact that this is now showing up while I'm recording episode 11 is just like that cherry on top that I get to see unfold because I am in the midst of creating these last 2 episodes. And what I mean by last 2 episodes, I will be taking a 2-month break from the podcast. Episode 12 will be the final episode for season 1 of the Spark the Heartz podcast. I will still be posting on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, so check those platforms out. if you want to see more of me. The links will be in the show notes of this episode, as always. But I will be returning sometime the month of October. I don't know the exact date yet. But once I do, I will make sure to broadcast that on my social media platforms so that you can anticipate for episode 1 of season 2. I've already explained in episode 12 in more detail as to why I'm taking this break, so I'm going to leave it for that episode. But I am going to say it just helps support my creative flow. To be able to serve you guys, I must serve myself first. And these are one of the steps that I'm taking to do that. And so that being said, let's go ahead and just get into episode 11. Now, episode 11 is going to center around what is a safe person, how do they feel, move, and look like, and what are they not. My intention, oh my God, Porky, you're so wild. This episode is going to center around what is a safe person, how do they feel, move, and look like, and what are they not. To be honest, I don't even know if you guys heard that, but my Frenchie just farted in the background. That just cracks me up. But regardless, the show must go on. So my intention for this episode is to connect you guys to what is a safe person. How do they feel? How do they move? What do they look like? And what are they not? I'm going to be real because at least for myself, I found that contrast helps me understand and see things clearly. So for this episode, I'm going to also highlight what isn't a safe person because the contrast lets us know the truth. Contrast has felt like an underlining guiding force in my own life and for my creative flow as well. To different degrees, I have been immersed into both the heavy and light contrasts of many different experiences in my life, and each experience has provided me with new gifts of awareness, courage, expression, knowledge, grace for myself, and clarity. But that doesn't mean I did not feel hurt, lost, tired, naive, or confused in the process. It was the journey through these contrasting experiences that provided me with more than just the negative or positive. It helped make me whole. When I started to shed what did not serve, once the medicine of the experience ran its course through my body, through my life, through my emotions, through my mental states, through my experiences, truly, and it did what it needed to do for me, I got a lot of wisdom out of it. And I imagine if you are here listening to this podcast episode, it's for a really big reason. There's a reason why I titled this episode, What is a Safe Person? What do they look like, feel like, and how do they move? Because that's an indicator that maybe you've been surrounded by unsafe people for a while and you're trying to unlearn patterns that were masked by family patterns, masked by societal patterns, whatever the reason is. You're trying to get out of this cycle of not knowing, of unconsciousness. And honestly, good for you. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy because it's never really truly easy because it's going to hit at different degrees and at different levels. But if you're willing to do the work, it will pay off so much. Just know that I see you and I feel you. And it was my experiences that helped me build this awareness around this topic. So my transmission for this podcast comes from my personal experiences in my own life and as an energy practitioner as well. This way you know where this knowledge is coming from. I've lived it, I've felt it, and I'm actively working with it as well. It never stops. Once you learn one thing, it's going to show up in the physical and present itself in a different person, a different package. But the thing that really is going to change is you in those interactions, you in your level of awareness, you in how much you do withstand or don't withstand anymore. And it also is you when you're choosing to pick the right people to open up to and having the awareness of who are the safe people that you do let through that door. How do they move? How do they act? How do they make you feel? What is their intentions through the relationship that is, whether it be a romantic, a friendship, a family relationship? What is their intention? And having the awareness that sometimes some people don't always intend the best for us. Helps clear up a lot of stuff. But it's not saying that everybody has this agenda to get you or be out for you. No, it's just having the awareness of who are the people that come around that don't have negative intentions, but really are coming around because they want to support you, and whether they need support, and there's a balance to it. So I feel like podcast episode, I believe it was episode 9, where I talked about having an awareness of whose cup you're feeling and who's filling your cup and who's not, and whose cup you're not filling. This plays into that theme too. My intention for this episode is to connect you to what is a safe person. How can they feel, look like, and move like? And I feel like I keep repeating this, but I really want it to soak into your awareness, because I want you to be able to recognize when they aren't a safe person as well. And I feel like this is a very important topic to share, because through awareness and choosing to change or nourish what does or does not work, and actively showing up and being intentional for yourself, really creates true progress. So without further ado, let's jump into it. What is a safe person? I'm going to break down the word safe with the textbook definition, but also give you my point of view of the word as well. Safe textbook definition means free from danger. My point of view on this is going to come from my personal experiences when it comes to having sessions with clients and my real life experiences. As an energy practitioner, I know for a fact how important it is to have balance between the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspect to find balance within the body. Now, when I've had clients come in and I've tuned into their heart centers and I've seen this energetic debris from situations with people that they truly care about, but that individual does not care at the same level, meaning they're overpouring into a cup that is not pouring into theirs because of how much love they have for this individual. But the reality of it is another. A safe person would not hinder you physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually in a negative aspect purposely. We are human, we do make mistakes, and sometimes we don't see the most perfect things, but an unsafe person will affect you negatively in these aspects, while a safe person will do the complete opposite. Take an inventory of how you've been doing physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually with the people around you, and use the list of information I'm going to share going forward so that you have an awareness for yourself. Because energetically speaking, this stuff really does show up in people's aura and chakra centers, and it speaks volumes energetically to me. So I know that this is something that can affect people on multiple levels. And just for clarity, I tend to use spiritually in tandem with energetic, just because spiritual work and energetic work really do tie in for me as a one size fits all sometimes. So when I say spiritually, I really do mean your energy levels, your energy body, your spiritual body. This is where it really shows up on a whole different scale. A safe person is someone who you can express your emotions, your worries, your life experiences, and your thoughts openly with. And I want to highlight that openly, meaning you're not going to have a fear of them getting pissed off at you. You're not going to have a fear that they're going to think you're dumb or stupid. Not saying that there won't be resistance and you might pull back a little bit because you're like, maybe this might be too crazy. And I do this thing with my husband where I'm like, hey, maybe this sounds crazy. He goes, no, go ahead and just say it. And I always thank him for allowing me to say the things that were out of this world, next level stuff, and him to be able to just sit there and just say, that's interesting. And he's a skeptic himself, but he doesn't make me feel bad. He doesn't make me feel crazy, and he doesn't make me feel wrong for what I've just said. He takes what I said, he sits with it, and he says, it's really interesting. And he sometimes stumbles on his words and may not have the correct words, but his energy speaks this whole different level of, I get you. I may not be able to see it, and that may not be my life experience. And it might be hard for me to fully comprehend, but I'm not invalidating as it being your truth. So your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, they get validated in a way that go beyond words sometimes. It's like a physical confirmation. And what I mean by that is like, I will be standing there and this man will be looking at me But the look that he gives me is not one of judgment. It's not one of you're crazy. He just is intrigued and is trying to understand. And even through the process of not fully being able to experience it himself, he doesn't unvalidate what was just shared. Instead, he holds space. He allows me to speak my opinion and he give his in a way that supports the confidence within myself and supports my emotional states. So a safe person can do these things. And I have a few things written down to share with you guys because that's what I did for this podcast episode. I really wanted to break it down in a way that's digestible for you guys to understand. A safe person will feel like a safe haven. No guards up, just like you're being embraced by love and support when you're in their presence. They're going to feel like your favorite textures and calm your nervous system. What I mean by favorite textures, like there are certain blankets that I just love that make me feel so comfortable. They're like super soft to the touch. They don't feel icky. They don't scratch me. They don't feel suffocating. It's this level of comfortability and support for what I need. When I'm cold, they're warm. When I'm hot, they're cooling. When I'm sad, they bring me towards happiness. They help regulate your system, your nervous system, and your body holds so much key to this. So don't ignore how you physically feel in the presence of somebody. Your body speaks an ancient language that goes beyond words. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. A safe person feels so good. They feel like the medicine for your soul because after talking with them, you leave the space feeling more aware of yourself and your situation, but also with so much more relief in your emotions, body, mind, and spirit. Someone who can hold space in a way that helps you feel supported emotionally, helps you see different points, or what I'm trying to say here, it's helps you see different viewpoints of the situation that you're in or trying to find your way out of or what's going on around you. They always tell you the truth in a way that helps you in your life. You leave feeling a sense of rechargement and nourishment and that they were exactly what you needed in order to be able to take that next move in your life. Whether it be a decision or a conversation or a physical action, you leave with so much clarity and they feel like clarity. Now, how does a safe person move like? This is action. Action can be taken as a physical form, but also with their words. Action, your mouth moves, your body moves, your emotions move, your energy moves. Action can expand out of just physical. So I want you to expand your mind here. A safe person moves in this way. They hold space with love and openness. And sometimes words do not need to be in exchange. There can be a level of support that goes beyond words. And I've mentioned this before because it's part of the feeling aspect of it. But it's also the movement. A safe person can be still. They can have no action in their movement, but hold so much stability in a physical environment where you do not feel shaken. You do not feel skittish. You feel safe. You calm down. They make you feel seen, heard, and understood. But as far as actions, they can also take actions, physical actions, yes, like a hug, a head nod, or just holding your hand that generates this calmness within your heart that has a whole different energetic frequency. Someone who is unsafe, no matter what they do, can never reach this sense of how a safe person can just make you feel by just holding your hand, by just nodding their head and just being there. And I'm being reminded of my grandma. Oh my God, I'm getting a little emotional. My grandma could sit there and I could stare at her in her last days. And I just remember staring at this woman's eyes and getting to be in her space. And I just felt her hand. And she had this sense of peace. Oh, I miss that lady so much. I love my grandma a lot. And This is my dad's mom. She operated on a whole different frequency than my mother's mom. She was funny. She would be so sweet. She'd be so calming just in her presence. So when she passed, I had a really hard time. So I'm sorry because I don't mean to go off topic, but like these emotions are coming up. And I think that's another sign. If you are getting emotional about somebody that you know has made you feel safe in your life, that's a sign. It's even a way where words don't even need to be exchanged. It can just be a physical touch, and just being in their space helps you feel so supported. And even if they're not here physically in this physical realm, they can be in spirit. Because I already know how I work. When I'm doing these podcast episodes and these things just pop into my mind, I know it's not by chance, and I know it's my grandma's spirit just coming close. And I miss her in the physical sense so much, but I get to enjoy her in these spiritual moments. And just these moments where I remember being in the same physical space with her and seeing her. But energetically getting to also experience her energy come into a room, invoke this emotion within me, and just have me tearing up, literally. Thanks, Grandma. To be able to come across and really broadcast real time what a safe person feels like. Even when you're sad, even when you're crying, you can have this sense of peace in your heart because it's the release of these tears or whatever's going on in the moment. They can be energetically in your space, whether in spirit, whether physically, but support you beyond words. No words were said. It was imagery that was sent to me. It was feelings, and I got to feel that all through my body. So just know that if the person that felt like they were a safe person to you has passed away, know that they are always with you in spirit. And know how much of a gift it is to recognize that in those moments. And I feel like this was not part of my show notes at all. This was just divinely orchestrated by spirit. Because even when I was typing this up, my grandma did not come across my mind. I was basing this on like my experiences with my husband and my best friend. And I forgot to incorporate the aspect of spirit and how a safe person can come through spirit and can invoke these feelings of safety and calmness and help you release what's stuck when you are stuck, when you're feeling lost. So don't neglect how a safe person can also come in spirit form. Your body will know intuitively, instinctively what it is because your nervous system will open up to it on a whole different level. So I just want to say thank you, Grandma, for that freaking golden nugget of information that just like came through the airways, right? Present time. Like we're broadcasting live here. And so I want to get to it because I feel like that was such a beautiful, beautiful gift. How they move like. This is going to be an add-on to what I said on how they feel like, because when I've been wrong or right, and the people in my life that have been safe people have told me the truth, the way that they bring that truth through, the way that they move their body, the way that they speak from their mouth, and the way that their eyes speak with sincerity and love, and they're not putting up a front. I can see that with my physical eyes. I can feel that in their aura and in their words and in their tone. People who are safe move so differently in their words, their transmission, their signal. They're sending me these packets of information that are soothing to my nervous system. And they may not be fully conscious of the energy and the truths that they are speaking from their heart, but the way that they come at me and the way that they are speaking to me clears up so much. And so that's how a safe person moves. They move differently. They move with truth. They move with awareness. And they move with their aura speaking before their words come out sometimes. And it's just magical to feel and see it in real time and have an awareness of when it's going down. They're calm, they're attentive and understanding. They hold skills and a level of emotional intelligence that is golden nectar for you. This is what a safe person moves like. This is what a safe person feels like. What do they look like? Of course, this isn't on a physical aspect in regards to their physical appearance, but they look like someone who holds and values peace in their heart and in their life. And you'll notice that their life will reflect that too. Their aura speaks before they even say a word to you, and I've said this to you, and you can feel it and see it in their faces. It will be noticeable. Your awareness is your key. Your attentiveness, your willingness to look and see and feel will guide you as to what a safe person is. They will not look or feel average. They will look like the answer and also make you feel like the key to your own problems. They will look like a sunrise after a dark night. They will look like nourishment for your soul. But do not get it twisted. You have to have awareness. You have to be honest in order to find these people in your life. And you have to have openness, because when you open up to these people that feel safe, that move safe, and that look safe, you're going to get nourishment on a whole different level. But you need to have this awareness, because if you've been hurt from opening up to people that haven't been safe, sometimes there's this residual shrapnel energy in your aura that's preventing you from speaking up, from allowing people to show you the best of themselves. But I want you to be honest with yourself. I want you to look at the people who didn't make you feel safe and ask yourself, were these even safe people? And this is a good question to ask, because though we may have parents, though we may have family members, friends, co-workers, just because they hold these titles, and yes, they are titles, they are roles we play in this world, doesn't make them a safe person. I'm going to repeat that. Just because somebody holds the title of mom, dad, sister, brother, husband, wife, best friend, co-worker, colleague, manager, assistant manager, AGM, supervisor, owner, CEO, VP. These are titles. Push them aside right now. And the only ones that I really want you to focus on when you're thinking about this person or these individuals in your life, safe, unsafe, and start moving into the categories that they are. And you'll know where to put people in their place for your emotions, for your thoughts. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't express uncomfortableness in a workplace. I want to be honest. This just means you know who you can go to when you're needing direction. You know who you need to go to for guidance. You know who feels like safe, they can hold you, like feed you, who is that expert fisherman that can teach you how to fish so that you can feed yourself. And not someone who just gives you a fish every once in a while and doesn't teach you a skill to feed yourself. You have to be willing to be honest. You have to be willing to see, and you have to be willing to get hurt a little bit in the process. And you have to be willing to let go of expectations that you had on these titles or these roles of people, and really see them for who they are and put them in the place that they need to be, so that you can move on in the right ways, so that you can find alignment, so that you know what your truth is. Because not every title automatically means that somebody is safe. It just means that they're playing that role in your life. And that role can be a negative or a positive one. There's no role in this life experience that says this person has to be good. There might be societal archetypes, societal roles that were written that way and were taught. And we were made to believe that this is how it should be. But in reality, that's not the truth. The truth is your experiences but the truth also sets you free. So get honest about what your experiences have been and see people for who they are. Now, that being said, I'm going to talk about what isn't a safe person. To do that, I'm going to put unsafe, the definition, which is literally not safe and dangerous. An unsafe person is a danger to your health, whether on a physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual aspect. An unsafe person will affect you negatively in these aspects, while a safe person will do the complete opposite. I have to repeat this so that it really sinks into you because it's facts. An unsafe person will affect you negatively in these aspects, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, while a safe person will do the complete opposite. An unsafe person is judgmental of your actions in a way that makes you feel ashamed or dumb. Now, if you're wrong and they're being honest, it's a whole different thing. It's going to make you see the reality of your actions. But somebody who is unsafe will break you down. They're going to make you feel like you're the worst of the worst out here, when in reality, there is a way to express honesty to another in a way that helps them be aware of themselves without bringing them down. Meaning, if you did fuck up, if you did mess up, the person that you're seeking guidance from isn't making you feel worse about it. You're hard enough on yourself, but they're going to be honest in a way that supports you. An unsafe person is going to bask in bringing you down, and you will see this in their actions, in the way that they talk to you, in the way that they speak to you. A safe person does not operate like this in any shape, form, or way. An unsafe person does. Know the difference, because it will be very clear in your body. An unsafe person makes you feel like you can't fully express yourself because their past actions have shown you they aren't someone who can hold space for you. Meaning, if you've gone to this person in the past and you've said something and they completely either blew off their handles and couldn't let you get another word in, or couldn't even see the situation for the bigger aspect and really give you like guidance in a way that really supports you, they're not safe. They're operating on a whole different system. And sometimes unsafe people will hear your situation, plug themselves in, but see it in a way of how can you get revenge on the person that just hurt you? How can you hurt who hurt you more? Or worse, you hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you through making you feel bad for all the things you just did. That's not how a safe person operates. And relationships come in different shapes and sizes. People aren't perfect, yes. But the way that an unsafe person shows up, it is unnerving. It is shaking you up from the inside. And it is making you shut down in ways that you didn't used to shut down. That is an unsafe person. A safe person opens you up to possibilities and change in a way that supports you, makes you feel like I can take on this task. An unsafe person breaks you down and makes you feel like you can't do any better. You won't get past this. You can't get better. So fight it. Fight them with your hands. Make them hurt how you hurt. Be low. Think low. Don't see. They hurt you. You matter most. But it's not in the ways that serve you. And I'm using these examples because I know what it's like to hear somebody that I went to and expressed a very negative situation, and all they could see is this person did you dirty, you doing them dirty back. They hurt you, you hurt them. And in my head I'm thinking, wow, you're older than me and I thought you'd be wiser. But in reality, age does not matter. It is the wisdom and the emotional intelligence and the way that somebody is operating their own life. You have to be conscious about the people that you're asking support from, because how are these people operating in their day-to-day? How do they feel? What type of life are they living? And if it does look right to you and it does feel right and it feels balanced, then move accordingly. But if something telling you, even if everything you see, there's a background feeling of, I don't know, there's something else that you may not be privy to letting you know that answer. So trust yourself too. Just because it shines like gold doesn't mean it's always gold too. Unsafe people make you feel unheard and unseen. They will make you feel like you're an annoyance or a burden to them. Now, with this comment, I want you to have an awareness of yourself as well. Are you putting all of your baggage on someone who does not have the space or time to hold space for you at this moment? I say this because this statement isn't just one-sided. You have to look at the contrast here, and it asks that you have awareness of your own experiences with this too. It's not an excuse for someone, but to help you see the big picture too. Have you been tending to yourself? And are you also aware of those who are constantly filling your cup as well? Asking a friend or a partner if they have space to hold is key. But you also have to have an awareness of yourself too. Have you grown into a pattern where you just feel so comfortable dumping something on somebody, knowing, and you can see it or you can feel it, that they're not in the space to do that, but you feel so comfortable, it's okay because they always do this for me? No, people have feelings and need space too. So it's two-sided. You have to be aware of yourself enough to know when it's okay to have those conversations with somebody too. This is coming up because I feel like we're doing a lot of talk about unsafe and safe people. How do you see yourself too? Are you a safe person? Are you an unsafe person? How are you living your life and how are you giving guidance? We got to look in the mirror. And sometimes I have to catch myself with this too, because if I am allowing for somebody to come up to me and just dump so much on me all the time, it's filling my cups with the things that I don't want. And next podcast episode, I talk about emptying my cup in order to fill it with the things I do want. And so boundaries are key. Safe people have boundaries, and sometimes they don't. Unsafe people have boundaries, and sometimes they don't. It's a contrast. We just have to have awareness, because we could be a safe person operating in this world with the mindset of we were never taught where boundaries were because we were always told to be of service to others. And we can have an unsafe person with so good boundaries because they serve themselves first. So again, it is very dualistic. Everything is just not one thing. It's many. But understand that an unsafe person will ultimately leave you feeling confused, unaware of what your next step is, and what you need to do or not do in order to take care of yourself. Move with awareness, move with clarity, and allow your body to start making connections with you and letting you know, and just test it out. Your body has knowledge. And if you can open up the doorways for there to be a relationship with yourself, you need to know what your yeses and nos are from your body. But it's like sway testing with your body. And there are, again, YouTube videos on this that you can look up. There are tutorials, things you can read about. But a simple thing is you want to start out and just say, okay, body, I'm here to make a connection with you. And I want to have a clear answer of what my yeses and my nos are. So you just ask questions that you know that are yes and no's to you. Simple questions. Like, is my favorite ice cream Rocky Road? And you're going to let your body sway back or forth, and that will give you your yes or your no. But keep asking multiple times for different things. Like, is my favorite color purple? Is my favorite color green? Is my favorite food runny yolky eggs? Which for me is a no. It's a hard pass, guys. I don't like yolk. I don't mess with yolk. It's not my favorite. I'm like, ooh, even saying the words, I already know in my body that that is not my truth. But sway testing and building that sway test muscle up, so that once you're ready to kind of get more honest with this, don't try to jump into cold water and just be like, okay, I got this. You want to build that relationship. So build your sway testing relationship and just allow it. You allow your body to kind of move in the directions that it needs to, and it will tell you your yes or no by the same questions that you're asking. So that's one tool that you can use for yourself. There are different tools in this world that can support you. Practices that support you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And those practices help balance out your life, and they look differently. So if you have a practice, like whether it be talk therapy, whether it be an energetic practice or a workout, or if you have an energy practitioner that you like to go to for this, Make sure that you're doing it in a way that supports you. And if it hasn't been supporting you, maybe it's time to make a change and see how that helps empty out your cup so you can refill it again. But essentially, a safe person feels so good in your body, feels so aligned, and you can see, feel, think, and be clearly. Where an unsafe person does the complete opposite. And for the people in the back, an unsafe person has you not feeling good in any shape, form, or way. They affect your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical bodies on whole different levels. And this is for people playing all types of roles, not just the roles that in society we're told are supposed to be good ones. That's not true. So the gift I give to you today is the gift of awareness. But the real question is, are you ready for that? Are you ready for the truth? Do you want to know the truth? Or do you just say that you do just because it's the right thing to say? It's not wrong to feel like you're not ready to know the truth yet. If you're not ready to know the truth, ask yourself why. What are you so afraid of knowing the truth of? And if you feel like you don't even want to go there and you need support, again, I'm a big advocate for talk therapy. I'm a big advocate for speaking your truth. So if you need support while you're going through this, find a life coach, find a therapist, find whatever you need, whether it be a self-help book, whether it be a course that just speaks to your soul. Find the things that are going to support you to get to the why. Why don't you? And then once you get that why don't you want to see it? Why don't you want to know this? Then it'll be easier to get to the who is and isn't. Because sometimes the why can be an obstacle that is blocking us from really getting past the truth. And in order to get to the truth, not past the truth, to the truth, we have to understand the why is it blocking us sometimes? Why are we trying to control? What is it essentially that is trying to keep you from there? And if you're too afraid to go there because you don't know how to do it alone, seek the help of who you feel is right for you in the moment that can get you there, that will hold you accountable, that will remind you of the track that you're on. That's why I personally still do therapy. That's why I actively seek out my mentor in mentor sessions. That's why I actively sit and ask Spirit to show me, or I have these conversations with the people in my life. And I step back to look at this, and I'm still having to do this. It never really stops because the people in my life change through the seasons, through the years, and I have to be consciously aware, or at least honest with myself, so that I know when people aren't for me. And it sucks and it hurts sometimes, but in reality, I've come to realize what the price and the consequences of not being honest to myself has cost me. It's cost me a lot of heartbreak. It's cost me a lot of time and energy, and not just money, because that always comes back to me, but it's cost me uncomfortableness, physical pain in my body, the mental strain, the emotional strain, and then having to see these people and have them make me feel some type of way. No more. I'll speak my truth and I'll keep my distance to preserve my energy. So if you're tired of being on the same freaking cycle, the same broken record, do something different. Do something that supports you. And don't be afraid to get the help that you need in order to propel you forward, because that forward is what is the future life that you want to be in. The way you want to feel, the way you want to think, the way you want to be. But the only one holding you back is you. Let's be honest. The only one holding you back is you. Your choices create your reality. What choice do you want to make to support your reality now? And I feel like this topic has been so big, and I'm going to end it here. Next podcast episode will be my last one for season 1. And it'll be a treat too, because it's going to remind you of how important you are too. So with that, I'll leave you here. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in today. To stay up to date on all my happenings and offerings, I invite you to follow me on my YouTube channel and Instagram, which is at Spark the Hearts with the Z at the end. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, please see the links to my booking page and website on the show notes of this episode. Thank you again for tuning in, and I look forward to our next gathering. Bye for now.